Alright, guys, this post is called Steve Fletcher is hilarious, and so are most of the Rapture watchers. When I say Rapture watchers, I mean the little community of them that believe in totally stupid, retarded, false cosmology. Idiotic stuff, like the stars and the sun and the moon are millions, billions, and trillions of miles away. Billions of light years away, even, right? Because the Earth and everything exploded into existence 12 billion light years, or excuse me, 12 billion years ago, right? So, anyways, it's just all complete nonsense, and yet they're studying the heavens, right? This goes for all the guys, that are connected with Steve Fletcher and all these guys. And I make videos about them, and they're grown men, so I could talk like an adult about them. I'm not insulting them, but I'm calling it out for what it is. And the reason that this upsets me is because one of Steve Fletcher's last posts was it was titled like oceans found in Orion, like Orion, the star system or whatever. And then it says like with exclamations, and then it says boom, mic drop, like with exclamations, as if like this is like a big mystery. On the very first page of the Bible, it talks about the waters above the firmament, like oceans right above the firmament. In order to understand this, though, you have to understand what the firmament is and where it is and true biblical cosmology, which if you don't know, you can just type in on Google biblical cosmology, hit it, and then click on images, and there it is. But these guys that watch the heavens it's interesting to me that they, mostly all of them, believe in totally false cosmology. It's hilarious to me. So their specialty is watching the heavens, but yet they believe in totally false cosmology, just complete lies. The only thing correct that they believe about it is that there are stars, the sun, and the moon. The idea that the sun is 93 million miles away is totally stupid and ridiculous and dumb and idiotic. They can't see when they look up that the sun and the moon are the same size. Oh, but they tell you, well, it's 400 times farther away. That's why it's the same size. Oh, okay. Then you look at the moon and they look right above you. Like the sun looks like it's almost like you can feel it like a light bulb right above you. And they look the exact same size. And the moon, you can see details on it when you zoom in on it with the $500 camera. And I can zoom in on stars and see details of stars, the wheels within the wheels. I posted about this many of times. And how that is actually from sound. It makes that noise, sound and frequency. So these guys, their specialty, it's crazy to me. So when I see posts like that, and then he posts like pictures from the internet on like the sun with all this lava on it, and it's 93 million miles away, and it's like, oh, there's gonna be a sunburst, and it's gonna come close to Earth, and all this stupid nonsense. It's from a little bit of leaven the whole lump. So when you believe something false, and it just leads to other false teaching. That's all it's doing. They're just perpetuating the lie. That's all they're doing. They're believing and telling people that we're on a ball spinning over 1,000 miles an hour on its axis, and then it's circling the sun at 66.6 thousand miles an hour. Not a coincidence with that number, right? And then everything is flying through space at almost 500,000 miles an hour, which is almost 250 times the speed of a bullet. Yet we can't feel it, see it, measure it. Clouds sit still in the heavens, in the sky. Come on, man. Wake up, man. Come on. Seriously? You guys still are going to believe stupid, idiotic nonsense like that? I mean, I've been trying to be nice to so many people over the years, but you can only handle so much stupidity from people who are claiming to know what they're talking about. If you don't, then just stop teaching. But otherwise, you're just teaching lies, and you're perpetuating lies, and you're making the foolishness last. That's all you're doing. Maybe Jesus doesn't want to come back because of all the willful ignorance. How about that? And then, setting a date for the rapture like every other week. And every other week, every 2 weeks, the rapture is going to happen. I don't think that's what Jesus meant when he said to watch. I don't think he said to watch every other week for years. And then the dude Barry Yaw, man, he literally says it's going to be on this day like 10 times and finally stopped doing that. I mean, I understand we're all learning, but they're in willful ignorance of common sense. Willful ignorance of common sense. It's common sense that Earth is not moving. It's common sense that the sun and the moon are very close. It's common sense. It's common sense that water doesn't stick to a spinning ball flying through space at all these speeds. And it doesn't even have a covering on it, they say. Oh, there's no covering. There's just the ozone layer. It doesn't mean anything. Earth is flat, it's stationary, and it's covered with the firmament like a tent. Just like it says in Isaiah 40:22. And it's a picture of the tabernacle in the book of Exodus. Chapter 40, read it. He covers the tabernacle with the tent. Look at the dome on the rock. They're showing you in plain sight that there's the circle of the earth that's covered with the dome, with the firmament, and then outside of that is more land. That's why you read about the corners of earth, the four corners of earth, because outside of the dome there's still more land and there's corners out there. But the circle of the earth is under the firmament. You can look at the dome on the rock. It's there. They show you in plain sight. They show you everywhere in plain sight. You have to be a willfully ignorant person, purposely reject common sense to believe this. And these guys are claiming to be teachers and perpetuating the lies. Wake up, man. It's so stupid. Posting about all these things, like lava on the sun, and you're surprised that there's water in Orion. Why are you surprised? Have you read the first page of the Bible? It's right there. You should be asking yourself, what's the firmament? How could waters be above the firmament? What do you think? Water is just floating around in outer space? Oh, there's oceans floating around us in this ball. There is no up or down on a ball. You can't. Which way is up? Well, it's what's that word? Where it depends which side of the earth you're on. See all that nonsense? They want you upside down. They want you thinking and not making any sense. You don't even know what up is. What is down? Well, it's all not rational, but it's all relative to where you're at on the earth. That's what they make. Are you a boy or a girl? Well, it's relative. It depends. That's the whole agenda is. Making everything relative. Well, it depends who you are. What's right and wrong? Well, it's relative to you, in your situation and all this stuff. No, there's a black and white right and wrong. There's a black and white up and down, but not on their cosmology. Not on that nonsense. So again, Steve Fletcher is hilarious. And so are most of these other guys. They should be making a big deal about this. They should be saying, why are you guys not talking about this? What are the two biggest things that lead people away from God? Evolution and the Big Bang. Evolution and the Big Bang. Where does evolution spawn from? The Big Bang. The same processes that happen in evolution, randomness and spontaneous generation. Well, that's exactly the same processes that are used in the theory of the Big Bang. Randomness, spontaneous explosions, or an explosion. It's all linchpin together, connected. They've taken the first page of the Bible and totally destroyed it with Christians. I mean, at this stage and point, you should be waking up to common sense. There's something wrong with them if they're not. So, it is a big deal. It is a big deal. The two things that lead people to atheism or agnosticism is the Big Bang and evolution. And all that can be debunked by the Bible and common sense. But no, these guys perpetuate it.